Some of the deepest wounds a man carries don't come from war or failure. They come from love. A betrayal you didn't see coming. A relationship that drained you instead of building you. Trust shattered. Confidence shaken. And worst of all, you didn't even see it until it was too late. You gave too much, waited too long, let things slide that your soul knew were wrong. And it cost you, not just peace, but self-respect. This video isn't about blaming women. It's about building better men. Because the truth is, many of the problems men face in relationships don't come from what women do, but from what men allow. From the boundaries you never set, the truths you never spoke, the respect you never demanded. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And if you think like a man who tolerates disrespect, emotional manipulation, or silence when truth is needed, then your reality will mirror that mindset." This is your wake-up call, to stop bleeding silently, to stop living reactively, and to start leading yourself like a man who knows his value, a man who doesn't chase love at the expense of his dignity. If you're a man who's ready to rise, who's done tolerating confusion, disrespect, or emotional games, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. This channel is for warriors of the mind, for men who want strength with wisdom and peace with power. Let's get into it. These are the 9 things a man should never do with women if he wants to live with purpose, peace, and power. Let's begin. Number 1. Never abandon your mission for her. A man without a mission is a man easily manipulated. When your life lacks direction, even the wrong woman can feel like a destination. That's how many men get lost, by trading their ambition for affection. They stop chasing purpose and start chasing approval. They forget their goals, their values, their edge, all in the name of love that often doesn't last. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." If you don't know where you're headed, every detour will look like a path. You'll surrender your power without even realizing it. Your mission is your backbone. It grounds you, it guides you, it gives your life meaning beyond relationships. And when a man abandons his mission for a woman, he doesn't just lose his direction, he loses her respect. The right woman doesn't ask you to trade your vision for her comfort. She walks beside your purpose, not in place of it. She doesn't need to be your everything. She needs you to be something powerful, clear, and focused. Love her, yes, but never stop leading yourself. Never dim your fire to keep someone warm. Stay disciplined, stay on course, because the man who leads himself will never be led astray. Number 2. Never tolerate disrespect, even in small doses. Disrespect almost never shows up wearing a warning sign. It creeps in through sarcasm disguised as humor. Dismissive tones, eye rolls, ignored words. These small, subtle gestures are not harmless. They are tests. And every time you ignore them, you fail that test. A man rooted in self-respect sees these red flags early. Because if you let someone chip away at your dignity, one sarcastic comment at a time, you'll eventually find yourself in a relationship where your voice no longer matters. Stoicism doesn't ask you to control her. It asks you to master your own response. And when your values are being violated, silence isn't noble, it's dangerous. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." A good man doesn't stay silent when disrespected. He speaks, not with rage, but with calm certainty. He sets the standard. He defends it. And when that standard is ignored, he walks, not because he's weak, but because he refuses to be weakened. Don't confuse patience with passivity. boundaries are not cruelty, they are clarity. And a man who respects himself never tolerates what tries to diminish him. Number 3. Never chase after being ghosted or ignored. You text, no reply. You call, nothing. You double text, still ignored. That silence? It speaks volumes. A woman who values you doesn't leave you confused. She doesn't disappear without reason and expect you to keep chasing her shadow. That's not love. It's manipulation. Epictetus said, "Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. That's your call to reclaim your power." Because a man grounded in self-worth doesn't beg. He doesn't chase silence. He doesn't try to prove his value to someone who's already decided to turn their back. Chasing after someone who ghosted you is like shouting into a void, hoping for an echo. It drains your confidence, your energy, your peace. And for what? Closure? Acceptance? Number. You don't need answers from someone who chose to be a question mark in your life. If she walks away, let her. If she ignores you, return the favor with grace and strength. Don't lower your standards just to keep someone in your life. The right woman won't need to be chased. She'll meet you halfway. So, stop running after confusion. Stand in clarity. Stand in self-respect. That's what real strength looks like. Number 4. Never apologize for having standards. You're allowed to want loyalty. You're allowed to want peace. You're allowed to want a woman who brings calm, not chaos. That's not being controlling. That's knowing your worth. Too often, men silence their standards just to avoid the sting of loneliness. They settle. They compromise. They accept drama, disguised as passion, and instability, disguised as chemistry. But let me remind you, peace is not negotiable. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment doesn't come from comfort, it comes from virtue, from living in alignment with your values, from refusing to betray yourself just to be accepted by someone else. You don't owe anyone a watered-down version of your expectations. A man who knows what he wants is not arrogant. He's anchored. A man who won't tolerate disrespect, disloyalty, or emotional chaos isn't being harsh. He's protecting his soul. You are not too much for having standards. You are not wrong for wanting a woman who reflects the strength, peace, and vision you've worked so hard to build in yourself. So hold the line, speak your truth. Let go of anyone who can't meet you there. The right woman will see your standards not as demands, but as a reflection of your self-respect, and she'll rise to meet it. Number 5. Never lose emotional control in conflict. Arguments will happen, emotions will rise, but the moment you explode, insult, or threaten, you give your power away. You stop leading and start reacting, and that's when you lose her respect, and your own. Seneca said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." In other words, what you do in anger often causes more damage than what was done to you. Emotional control isn't about being cold. It's not about bottling things up or pretending you don't feel pain. It's about mastery. It's about keeping your dignity when someone else is trying to pull you into chaos. A Stoic man doesn't fight to win every argument. He doesn't scream to be heard. He speaks with purpose. He listens with presence. And when things get heated, he slows down. You don't need to match anyone's fire with more fire. That's how everything burns. Instead, be the steady flame that lights the room without scorching it. That's what real strength looks like. Because the moment you break down, yell, or say something out of rage, you give away what you've worked so hard to build: your peace, your control, your leadership. So, when tension rises, breathe. Pause. Let your words be calm but firm. Let your energy remain grounded. She may try to pull you into chaos, but you don't have to follow. In conflict, your power is in your poise, not in how loud you get, but in how steady you stay. Number 6. Never sacrifice your boundaries to keep the peace. You hate conflict, so you stay silent. You swallow the discomfort. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. Just let it go. Keep the peace. Don't stir things up. But deep down, every time you let a boundary get crossed, you feel it. You feel smaller, weaker, less like yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That doesn't mean let people walk all over you. It means don't stoop to their level, but don't stand there and take it either. A man who sacrifices his boundaries to avoid an argument isn't choosing peace. He's choosing quiet resentment. And that resentment builds. It hardens, until one day it explodes, or worse, it rots your confidence from the inside out. A boundary isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It says, this is who I am. This is what I accept. This is what I don't. And the right woman won't resent you for that. She'll respect you more. When you set a boundary, you're not pushing love away. You're protecting it. You're building a foundation of honesty, not performance. Don't mirror disrespect. Don't explode. But don't sit in silence while your values are stepped on. Speak up. Say no. Let there be tension. Let the discomfort do its job, because growth lives on the other side of it. Every time you honor your boundaries, you reinforce your worth. And that's the kind of man no one can manipulate, because he leads from strength, not fear. Number 7. Never stay where you're not respected or appreciated. A man who stays where he is tolerated, not celebrated, slowly forgets who he is. You think if you just try harder, give more, stay longer, she'll finally see your worth. But respect is never earned by shrinking. It's not won through sacrifice. It's claimed by how you carry yourself. Staying in a place where you feel invisible won't get you love. It'll drain your soul. You are not meant to beg for the bare minimum. You are not designed to fight for attention. A woman who truly values you will make it known, not leave you guessing. If she doesn't respect your presence, it's your duty to give her your absence. Not out of spite, but out of self-worth. Out of the deep understanding that your peace is too sacred to trade for scraps of affection. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." What's in your power is your decision to stay or to go. You can't force someone to appreciate you, but you can control how long you remain in a place where your soul is starving. Walking away doesn't mean you lost. It means you chose yourself. And that's not weakness, it's power. When a man knows his worth, he doesn't argue for it. He doesn't plead or prove. He simply stands tall, looks at the situation, and says, "This doesn't serve me. I'm done." That's not bitterness. That's clarity. And clarity is what builds kings, not beggars. Number 8. Never use silence as punishment. There's a difference between needing time to think and using silence to manipulate. One is emotional maturity. The other is control, masked as strength. Too many men think going quiet gives them power. But silence, when used as punishment, creates confusion, distance, and emotional instability. If you're hurt, speak. If you need space, say it. Don't turn withdrawal into a weapon, because when you do, you teach her fear instead of understanding. You make her second-guess everything, and that's not leadership. It's emotional immaturity. Epictetus said, It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. That applies to relationships. If you think you already know her intent, her feelings, her motives, you stop listening, you stop growing, and you lose the very connection you're trying to protect. Stoicism isn't about shutting down. It's about rising above. You don't control everything, but you do control your words, your tone, your approach. Communication is not weakness, it's discipline. It's the man who can stay calm, express himself, and still hold his boundaries, who commands the deepest respect. Don't confuse silence with strength. Strength is saying what needs to be said with composure, not coldness. It's having the courage to address the issue, not avoid it. Real men don't vanish behind walls. They stand tall in the storm and speak with clarity. Use your voice, not to dominate, but to build. Not to control, but to connect. Because silence might win the moment, but honesty builds the future. Number 9, never make her the source of your self-worth. The moment you let a woman define your value, you give her power she was never meant to hold. And when that power shifts, when her mood changes, her attention fades, or her interest wavers, your confidence crumbles with it. That's not love. That's dependency. That's emotional slavery dressed as affection. You are not half of a whole. You are not incomplete without her. You are a complete man. And until you believe that, every relationship will feel like a test you're trying to pass. You'll chase approval instead of living in purpose. You'll bend, shrink, and mold yourself just to feel enough. The Stoics understood this clearly. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are rooted in something deeper than external praise. Marcus Aurelius said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know who you are." Know who you are. Build that identity with discipline, integrity, and purpose. Love her, but never make her your mirror. Because when she's gone, when her affection cools, when life tests the bond, you must remain unshaken. A man with internal worth doesn't need constant reassurance. He walks with quiet confidence. He listens, loves, gives, but never at the cost of his dignity. So check yourself. If your mood rises and falls with her validation, it's time to rebuild your center. Make your self-worth immovable, because the man who doesn't need approval is the man who commands the most respect. Every decision you make with a woman either builds your peace or breaks it. So choose strength over submission, clarity over confusion, standards over settling. Weak men seek approval. Strong men seek alignment, with purpose, with truth, with values that don't bend to pressure. Don't let the pain of the past become your prison. Let it become your blueprint. Build from it. Rise from it. Forge wisdom from every scar. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That power is yours. Own it. Stand in it. Lead with it." This video isn't just a list of rules. It's a call to rise. You are not here to be tolerated. You are not here to be manipulated. You are here to lead, to grow, to become unshakable. If this message spoke to your soul, do 2 things right now. 1. Drop a comment below sharing which rule hit the hardest. 2. Smash that like button and subscribe, because every week we drop content that builds stronger men, stronger minds, and stronger relationships. This is your tribe. This is your standard. Stand tall, speak truth, lead well, and never forget, your peace is power.